My name is Allison J, and I am a postdoctoral research fellow here at the Fort Worth Zoo. So part of my job here to start out was to create this assisted reproductive technologies lab that we're in here right now, so that we can find the best ways to breed our animals and to enhance our reproductive output of the animals while also keeping them as healthy as possible. And definitely a big thing I would say is don't commit yourself just to one species or to one technique. So don't be afraid to branch out. You might be really enthusiastic, say, oh, I really want to work with sea turtles, that's my dream. But don't be afraid if someone says, well, how about some tortoises? Or even as far as someone says, why don't you come work in my bug lab for a summer? And honestly, I have been able to work with almost exclusively women in most of my career path thus far, which has been a wonderful experience. My mentor at the Memphis Zoo was a woman, and then my graduate advisor was also a woman, and now here my direct supervisor is a woman as well. So it's been really encouraging to see not just fellow women students, as I see more and more women coming up in STEM classes, but to also see more women in leadership positions and further positions down the line. When I am fortunate enough to do experiments, I will be using techniques such as microscopy here, so looking at different cells, particularly sperm most frequently with microscope, and counting the different ratios of motile progressive sperm as opposed to non-motile sperm. And a couple other techniques that we use is I use ultrasonography, so using an ultrasound system. You've probably seen one of those before when you've seen a pregnant woman going to get an ultrasound to look at her baby. And so here what I use ultrasonography for most frequently is I'm looking at female amphibians or reptiles to look at their egg development. So the best highlight of my career so far has been the creation of Olaf, the first Puerto Rican crested toad produced from frozen sperm here at Fort Worth Zoo. So I was able to go with the team to Puerto Rico, where we found male toads in the wild. We collected those toads, and we collected sperm from those toads and froze it or cryopreserved it. And then we brought the sperm back to the US, where we brought the sperm to Fort Worth Zoo and then fertilized eggs from one of our females here. It might be that you don't end up working with your dream species, or tangentially you'll come back around and you get to eventually anyway. But making sure that you have a larger pool to pull from for what you want to do in the future, whether it's just the technique you use or if it's the different species, if it's in the field, if it's in the lab, is really something that people are going to look for and will help you expand your web and really increase your prospects for the future.